cuore mio da fior a fior, con dolcezza e con amore, vai tu per me. Ma che la mia felicità vive sol di realtà, vicino a te. Voglio vivere così, col sole in fronte, e felice e canto, beatamente. Voglio vivere e goder l'aria del monte, perché questo incanto non costa niente. Voglio vivere così, col sole in fronte, e felice incanto, canto per me.
Tell us about the language barrier between you and Sergio Leone when you first got there.
I got off in Rome. I had I brought a few pieces of wardrobe with me, and I hadn't met anybody. And then I met, and I didn't speak Italian at all, and Sergio didn't speak any English at all. So our first meeting was a lot of hand signals, you know, and that kind of thing. And then we had a lot of laughs. We did everything through an interpreter, Elena Dressler, and she was terrific. But eventually I learned a few things, and he learned a few things, and eventually we had a reasonably compatible time. So it was a great time there, and I did do a small segment film with Vittorio De Sica, and who it was a great pleasure to work with. But it wasn't a great film for him or a great film for me. It was just a 20-minute segment featuring Silvana Mangano, and that was about my experience in Italy. But I've enjoyed it. I always felt very nostalgic because it's the beginning of my career. It was kicked it off, and Sergio, it was one of those, a really nice relationship. I'm sure he got annoyed with me, and I'm sure I got annoyed with him. But in hindsight, I'm sure we'd all still be friends.
You got to go to countries that were co-producing these movies, and you'd never been there before.
Yeah, actually, it was an Italian film company. They'd asked me if I would go over to Italy and do a Western film with a director who I had never heard of at the time, and I was doing this Western television series in the States, and I didn't feel like I really wanted to do that, but I did recognize the material when I read it as being Yojimbo, which was a favorite samurai film of mine by Akira Kurosawa, and so it was very, very inviting. I figured that it wasn't a very expensive production. It was a co-production of 3 different nations. It was a great experience, a new experience for me, and working with new people. And Sergio turned out to be a very simpatico individual, very funny, and a terrific director. And those were great moments for me.
Tell us what some of the differences were as a man in your young 30s, coming from the United States and going to Italy. What were some of the cultural differences that you got to experience that we don't?
Well, it was different working in other languages in the films because these co-productions. They had to hire so many actors from different societies, and they'd have to hire so many German actors because they were co-producer, so many Spanish actors because they were co-producer. And so we found ourselves, all of us found ourselves together in Almeria, Spain. And at that particular time, Almeria was very, very isolated. They didn't have any airports or anything like that. And the only way down there was a 9.5-hour drive from Madrid. So it was over all 2-lane roads, no freeways. And it was interesting though, and I was in a town where nobody spoke English except Mariana Koch, who was the German actress who was in the film, and she was terrific. All the cast was terrific, but eventually you learn Spanish very fast. You learn some Italian, you learn even a few words of German, and then you get and you sort of make out, but it was different. It was different, but it was fun. It was very life expanding, if I may put it that way.